Hey y'all. Okay, yay, it's finally happening. And when I say it's actually many things that are finally happening. This video is a convergence of a bunch of things that I'm excited to do. The first thing, and perhaps the most exciting, is that Joe has agreed to edit another video. And if all goes well, he will be the editor of this video, which means that I have very little control about how it's going to come out. So I kind of need to abandon my usual expectations for control right here at the beginning of the video. Let's take a moment. Okay. Also, this is another video in which I'm taking Patreon requests. So I ask my patrons from time to time what they want to see me do on camera. And I recently asked them again and got another round of requests. And one request dominated them all. It was Clara's question. Can we do a Sadie inspired makeup look? Is that a thing? I don't know, but we're gonna try to make it a thing. And in doing the Sadie inspired makeup look and collecting all of the materials to do it, I've also collected some of the makeup that other patrons requested that I use, and I'm gonna try to employ the techniques that some of you requested that I use as well. So it's gonna be really fun, and really we don't know what's gonna happen. If you're new to my channel, I'm Hannah, and I love beautiful things. I love beauty, and I also really love using what I own and kind of reinventing the way that I use it with little experiments like this. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. I already have some makeup on my face, I think you can tell, and I pasted up my brows already. I used soap, which I actually haven't done in a while. I used my soap and I tried to really like make them look as sort of blown apart and wild as possible, just like wind blown. They're laminated to my face with the soap, but I tried to kind of brush them up in like a wild arc because I feel, you know, Sadie, like she's wild, she's living her best. Her brows are very hither and thither and yon. And so I just wanted to like imitate that as best I could with my brows. My brows are dyed. Right now, I dyed them myself a couple of weeks ago. The dye is just starting to fade, but it's still dark enough that you can like see the strokes of my brows against my face. So another request from Nicolina was to use the Chanel primer, which is actually an illuminator. It's the Chanel Le Beige. And I recently filmed a video in which I reviewed this, compared it to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. So Nicolina, you're gonna see like a ton of application footage of this, but he did put it on. So I put it on as my primer, even though it's supposed to be a highlighter, I use it as a primer. And then I just put on a little bit of concealer. So that's what we're starting with. Okay, Diana coming through with a request that was repeated and reiterated by other patrons. And I'm not even sure if they saw each other requesting it. It was just like something that a lot of people came up with all at once. And when that's happening, you know, you gotta pay attention. So Diana says, I would love to see you use one of your lipsticks as a blush. That is what I will do. I will use my lipsticks as a blush. Okay, Margarita. I'd like to see you do a dark vampy lip with lip liner and edges perfected with foundation or concealer. A dark vampy lip with lip liner and edges perfected with foundation or concealer. Think Katie Jane Hughes. So this is something I never do. And I'm sure Margarita knows that. Kat asked for cool toned grungy glam. I think that that's what a Sadie inspired look will definitely be. Taryn asks me to use the e.l.f. cream cheek palette on camera. And I am going to use a lipstick on the cheek, but I brought it over here because I'll use the highlighter from it. I'll mix that in. Eva says, you said a bit ago you've been enjoying overlining your lips, which is true. I have been overlining my lips constantly lately. And says, I'd be interested in that. I want to be able to do this without looking like a clown. So I'd like to see your take on it. I'll try. I think it'll be interesting to try to combine like a slightly overlined lip with the graphic lip that Margarita wanted. I'll try. Observe her beautiful kind of celadon colored eyes and her little nose, her little like rum raisin colored nose. And you know, she's very brindled colored, very sort of like gray and brown and black mixed together. She's got these warm undertones, like maybe she had a redhead in her lineage, you know what I mean? But I'm thinking like that little nose, that little sort of brownie pink nose. That is a lipstick color. Look at her spotted tummy too. Look at her little spots. Sadie, why are you so cute? Why are you so cute and little? Why are you so itty bitty? This beautiful kind of deep pinky brown nose skin color and those beautiful kind of clear celadon eyes. What, have you had it? She's had it. This is definitely too green for Sadie's eyes. It's an Adept shade ACD00. You know, she doesn't have that kind of a green eye, but this is Cleona Chandelier, and I actually feel like Cleona Chandelier mixed with this green might be very that, or like a makeup version of that sort of clear celadon that you see in Sadie's eyes. And then Fairy Acid from JD Glow also, like these all kind of feel adjacent to that color to me. And then these are some bronzes. This is Baby Lights, which actually maybe more than any of them, that's ColourPop Baby Lights. More than any of them might be the actual color of Sadie's eyes. That's the one that's there on my pinky. Yeah, look at that. See that color on my pinky? I feel like that could really work. Yeah, Sadie. I tried, you guys. So I'm going to start with Baby Lights. I'm going to put it all over both lids, the closest approximation to the color of Sadie's eyes, I think. I might mix in some of these other kind of reflective greeny colors. I want the eyes to be kind of a tribute to Sadie's eyes, you know, and then I'll have the darker colors in her on like the cheeks and lips more, and maybe a little bit around the edges of the eyes. I'm going in with my lids still kind of wet from the primer, and I'm going to tap Baby Lights all over in a thin layer. Yeah, it's kind of like the color of Sadie's eyes, but we're getting a little bit of that red undertone in Baby Lights that's coming out more than I saw it come out in the swatch. So I'm definitely going to go in and blend in some of the other two colors, the Adept shade and the one from Cleona. I'm going to start with a little bit of the green Adept shade right in the center of the lid. Ooh, that shade is so much more sparkly than I expected it to be. It's really pretty. But again, too green, right? That's like a bit too brightly green, right? So let's go over all of it with a bit of the Cleona shade, which is, you know, a glitter multi-chrome. Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, this is really getting to kind of what I was imagining, and I feel like tapping all of those shades and layers is giving me a really multi-dimensional look, and I really love that. So now I'm gonna buff out the edges and just kind of like tinker with it. You know, I think I do want to leave it pretty simple. I'm thinking of, I'm starting to feel like this is a bit Lauren May Beauty. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of the way that Lauren just blends those beautiful multi-chromes out on her eye and just leaves it with some mascara. So we're definitely getting, we're kind of getting into the meat of the meat, right? And what it's turning out to be is a makeup look inspired by the colors of Sadie, not necessarily inspired by the way that Sadie herself looks. Speak of the devil. Sadie's making trouble. Come here, little bean. Her eyes are more, they're definitely more yellow. You know what I mean? They've got like more of that. Yeah, actually kind of more like Baby Lights than I was imagining. I'm gonna try to cover up a tiny bit of the green in the middle with a tiny bit more of Baby Lights, because she does kind of have like almost like a redness underneath the green. Yeah, I think that's helped. Yeah, it's helped. I'm gonna buff a little bit out on my lower lash line, but again, I want to keep this look very simple. Okay, and because I'm me, I'm going to just contour them the tiniest bit with a tiny bit of like brown, I think. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, still very unstructured, but with just a little bit more shaping. You know what I mean? Like a little bit more the thing. And I didn't bring an eyeliner over here, but I've been loving that Jillian Dempsey one. So I'm gonna grab it and just line my waterline a little bit. And then I'm gonna put on some mascara. I love it. I actually love it. And I wouldn't have done a thing like this. You know, I wouldn't have done this light wash. I wouldn't have picked these greens, these iridescent colors, if it weren't for this brief. So I'm so here for it. I really, really love this. And I think because of this light look, it is the right thing to kind of leave my brows the way that they are without penciling them in anymore. I don't want to totally overwhelm the look by darkening them, but I like the wildness. I like it when my eyebrows kind of look like they've been surprised. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm going to put lipstick on my cheeks. I think I might want to match my cheeks to her nose. I think probably Revlon. Sadie. This is Revlon Mink. That's probably it, right? This is Revlon Rem Raisin. I actually think Rem Raisin is too bright, right? Here's what I'm thinking. Revlon Mink is, I think, probably the closest to Sadie's nose. So I'm gonna use it on my cheeks. And also just holding her up and looking at her nose right now, she has that like the black outline around her nose, and then it gets sort of like brownish red as you move to the middle, which is very much like that vampy dark lined lip. So I feel like I can even imitate something like that for the lip itself. But let's go ahead with Revlon Mink on the cheeks mixed with the highlighter from the e.l.f. cream cheek palette, the e.l.f. Active Lip and Cheek. But there's cat hair everywhere. All right, and I'm gonna blend with the Erin's Faces foundation brush, which has been like my favorite lately for cream cheeks. That's very it. That's very the color of Sadie's little nose, right? I'm gonna go in just with this first. Oh my gosh, it's such a good color. It's like such a good cheek color. I'm putting the e.l.f. highlighter on top. In my experience, what this does is it does kind of make the color a little bit less intense. Like it maybe just waters it down a little bit as it adds shine. So I often end up going back and forth, layering color with highlighter. Sadie just came and rubbed her little body all over my legs. Like she's just coming to say that she's not mad about being in the video. She forgives me for putting a lipstick so close to her face. Okay, I think that this, I mean, it's like the perfect color. I like to go back because I'm dealing with some blemishes right here. I like to go back after I apply, especially a cream cheek, with a little bit of concealing product and just kind of clean up the edge right there. Okay, this is, I feel, a very clear, glossy look that can handle the kind of super vampy, sharp lined lip that we're working up to do. I think that what I'm going to do is to use this kohl eyeliner, this soft brown. So this is where I'm going to kind of like evoke, you know, her like dark lines and that, and her beautiful black paw pads and stuff. But I am overlining a bit, and sorry, I just looked in the monitor so I see how I look from a distance. It's a lot. But I am overlining a bit. It does occur to me to tell you that I'm keeping it mostly to the center. I'm not overlining all the way down to the very edges of the mouth. I'm doing more of it in the center of the top and the center of the bottom lip, and then matching more back up with my natural lip line as I get to the edges. That's one of the things I do. And I'm also not going very far outside my lip line. I'm just putting a little bit of the liner just on the other side of where the peak of my lip kind of meets the part of my mouth that's not actually technically lip, just like a little bit on the other side of that, just in the middle of the top and bottom. Okay, that's a pretty sharp lip line for me. I mean, really. And I thought I was going to have to clean it up with concealer, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's looking pretty symmetrical. I mean, my lips aren't symmetrical. I think actually my jaw isn't entirely aligned. So my lips are a little bit. But as far as I can tell, it's looking pretty sharp and thrillingly unlike anything I've ever done. This is a great tool, this Jillian Dempsey pencil. Okay, I'm gonna fill in the middle with Mink, which is what I used on my cheeks. Okay, I'm starting to really psych myself out. I can't tell if it's even or not, but I think this is what Margarita was asking for, like the really sharp, vampy, really sharp, deep lip. And I think that I've ended up getting darker than Sadie's nose as I've gotten kind of like close to the center of my lips. But I do think that the edges of my lips more match like her little Sadie lips, her little cat lips. What do you think? Nailed it. I think I nailed it. She's purring too. I think she thinks I nailed it. I feel like the only thing I could do more would be to like paint on some whiskers or something, but you love it, Sadie? She loves it. Are you making upside down biscuits on me? She is about to start making upside down biscuits right here. That's what this is. You just want to stay here? I wish you guys could see her. She's just sitting in my lap on her back, purring and snuggling. Why are you so cute today? But it is giving me a chance to really look at her little like her dark markings around her eyes and her little markings around her nose. And I do think that this works as a very Sadie inspired lip application. This was so fun. It really mixed me up. It got in amongst me. It kind of got me thinking in a new direction. I very, very often go for a strong, grungy, intense, kind of messy eye and a pretty simple, pale, natural lip. So this is a complete flip of what I usually do. And color-wise, it's like, again, colors I don't usually pick. It's greens, it's something really deep on the lips. So it's been absolutely delightful. And yet I don't feel not myself. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a kind of Hannah makeup that has been lurking beneath the surface that I've never actually done, but it's like been here all along. You know what I mean? I had the magic inside of me all along. So that's really fun too. It's like the discovery never ends. You know what I mean? And, you know, again, I reiterate that I didn't have to buy anything or get anything new to experience like a complete revolution in the way that makeup looks on me and the way that I applied it and to experience something totally new. I just had to think outside the box a little bit with the assistance of my patrons and my little cat. I'm going to go now, and TBH, what I'm probably gonna do is go and take a bunch of pictures of this look for Instagram, which I don't always do. I do makeup all the time and I rarely actually am like, I want to photograph this or I want to record this. I feel thrilled to my very bones, my little makeup loving, inspiration loving bones, that I have this look on my face that I never would have come up with on my own. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you want to see Joe edit next time. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself today, because that's what'll make you the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.
Sadie.